how do you stay in your lane?
It's not easy. And the hardest part is trying to explain to clients why something 2 years ago was this way and now it's 180 degrees this way.
Right.
Or why something that was available then is no longer available. So you really have to adjust. I mean, and as I say to my clients, I said, every day I wake up, there's something new. We're all on the fly, we're all learning on the fly rather. And this is a common refrain against in the immigration bar. We're learning it now. And how do we get policy changes by Twitter or by something on social media? So it's been much more radical, the changes, and much quicker during Trump 2 than Trump 1. But the law is the law, the rules are the rules, and so you try to just apply both the rules and the law as best you can, and try to protect your clients.
Have you found a way to like systemize the chaos in a way?
Yeah, because it's still forms. It's still it's still an administrative process. The chaos is coming where we've actually I filed last week my first habeas.
Oh, interesting.
In federal court in San Diego to get someone out of custody that I thought they were wrongly detained, and they were released. So that is kind of the chaos factor, is people getting detained.
Yeah.
That in prior years, even under Trump 1, if they got detained, they'd be let out on bond probably pretty quickly, and a case would take a lot longer. Now we're getting, people getting picked up at 7-Eleven parking lots or grocery stores. That didn't happen under Trump 1.
What I find interesting about immigration in general is because immigration is not just immigration. You have people that do different carve-outs. They have different niches within immigration. So here's what I find really interesting. Let's say you are a deportation-heavy immigration practice. Under Biden, not good for you at all.
Correct.
So you had to find a different way of making money. Whenever you get to Trump and Obama, deportation-heavy both.
Right.
But the other stuff is harder to process. So how do you balance that part of it?
Really good question. During Biden, we really didn't wind down, but really, we didn't emphasize deportation or removal defense, what we call it, because it wasn't there. I mean, I had the training because I did do it under Trump 1 when I took over from my dad, but we always had a backbone of doing family-based immigration. So I was able to ramp up, and most of the lawyers that I work with, and I have a couple that I work, as contract attorneys, they, from Trump 1 and before, they were used to immigration court. So we had to, put some, oil, like the Tin Man, we had to oil ourselves up, get the joints working again, and get those reflexes. But I mean, the amount of time in the last year that I spent in immigration court compared to Biden's last year was probably 50 to 60% more.
Oh my gosh.
The good news is, again, thanks to COVID, and hopefully that'll keep this way, we do most of our appearances remotely.
It's really
a real game changer. When I first started doing this, I would have to physically, because my dad now is getting sick and he can't go to court, I'd have to physically go to downtown LA or Orange County to immigration court, like a normal civil court. And now most of it is done remotely. So, I have a practice now office in Las Vegas, and I've appeared. Judges know me quite well through Zoom in Las Vegas, because I can do 2 or 3 hearings from my desk, or another attorney can do them on their desk.
So talk about the Vegas edition, because I think that's really cool. That's something that you had talked about in the hot seat the last time I talked to you. And I don't remember whenever we had dinner in New York if we talked about it. It was really loud in there, but
we probably talked about it. But about my head paralegal, although she's from Los Angeles, a lot of her family lives in Las Vegas, and I've gone there for conventions and other things. I grew up in Southern California, so it's close by. But what I noticed was a lot of our clients or their family members were moving from Southern California to Las Vegas. Just kind of noticed migration because of job availability, cost of housing. And they would say, do you know any immigration attorneys in Las Vegas? And I really didn't. So just by happenstance, I got to know 2 or 3 attorneys in Vegas. I worked on a couple civil cases there that were federal. It was like a federal malpractice case against an Air Force hospital. And I would ask all these attorneys, like, is there anybody immigration-wise? And nobody knew anybody. And my head paralegal's family, nobody knew anybody. And especially for the Spanish-speaking community, which is a large part of a lot of our client base. So about 2 years ago, I said, well, let's just open a little satellite office and see what happens. Because as an immigration attorney, I'm barred in California, but I can practice immigration law in all 50 states. It's kind of unique. I think Social Security is the same way.
Okay.